Reb Shmuel David Friedman Shlita writes in his Sefer B'didi Hava Uvda a fascinating story. Reb Yankov Legalinsky, the famous Maggid Zatzal, Zchus Yogan Aleinu, he said a story about himself. It was in the beginning of World War I, and he was draying around, separated from his family, all alone, a young Bacharul, and he found himself in the city of Vilna. And he knew that the big tzaddik, the Gadol Harav Chaim Ozer, was living over there. So he decided, you know what, I'm going to go and speak to him, tell him my tzaros, I'm all alone in this world. But he knew that Reb Chaim Ozer, Gadol Adar, what happens when you go to the big Rosh Yeshiva? You're going to probably say, Vihalsta, where are you learning? Tell me something, tell me a nice vart. So he started learning B'hasmada Rabbah. And he stayed up a whole night studying Yevamis. Those of you who know that in the first blat, what it's talking about is something called a tzara. A tzara is a woman that her husband has a second wife. That's called a tzara. Okay, so the Gemara talks about in Yevamis, let's say Shimon and Reuven are brothers. Shimon has a daughter, Esther. And Esther marries her uncle, Reuven, which they're allowed to marry. So her father, Shimon, is actually her husband's brother, which is his brother-in-law. If Reuven dies, you have to do chalitza from Shimon. She obviously can't marry Shimon, so she doesn't need to do chalitza. So there's no chalitza because Shimon's her father. But what if Reuven, besides her Esther, had another wife, Malki? So the halach is, it's a machlekes b'shamei b'is Hillel, if Malki needs to do chalitza with Shimon or not. And it's a machlekes. So it's all about tzaros, and there's 15 different tzaros. 15 different types of examples of tzaros and tzaros, and he was busy a whole night learning about tzaros, the tzaros of Yevamis. And finally, after he really felt he knows it, sharf, he was a genius, he was a brilliant man, even as a boy, he's a big Talmud Chacham, and he went ahead and he went to Reb Chaim Ozer. But when he met Reb Chaim Ozer, the Gadol Adar, he looked at him with eyes of rachamim, merciful and compassionate eyes, and he said, Bucharul, or maybe he said Bacharul, I'm not sure. When was the last time that you heard from your parents? So Biankala answered to him, I sent him a while ago, I sent a letter, I never got a response. And Reb Chaim Ozer started to ask him, do you have where to eat? And he started caring about him and showing him mercy and compassion. Do you have warm clothes? And Mamash, he was like being so nice to him. And then Reb Chaim Ozer tells him, Yankala, show me your shoes. He shows the Gadol Adar his shoes, and they were pretty messed up. And right away, Reb Chaim Ozer took out money from his wallet, and he says, go right now and buy new shoes. You need to have new shoes. And then he told him, Dalecha b'ni, know my son, that my home is open for you 24 hours a day. And whenever you feel like you need anything at all, please don't be embarrassed to come. Don't hesitate to come to me. My doors are open to you. Said Rabbi Yankala many years later, when he told over the story, he said, She'ozra mazeh Gadol b'Yisrael. I saw what a Gadol b'Yisrael is. He's not talking about Tzaros Yevamis. He's talking about Tzaros Yisrael. We're surrounded by people who are dealing right now with Tzaros Yisrael. We're in a generation of unprecedented emotional pain. And yet some people are too unfocused and missing the point. We have to be busy with Tzaros Yisrael. We have to go over to the people who are drengzich in the gassen, who are nov and nod, and say, no, how's your relationship with your parents? My parents threw me out. They're not interested in me. Come to my house anytime. Maybe you need a pair of shoes. The people who go off the derech, after they come back, always tell me the story. And just today I got a call from England. And the guy told me I was one of those boys. Today I give CHIZUK to boys on the street. Because you know what saved me? Because there were certain people in the community that didn't look down at me. When I came in with the funny hair, when I came in not dressed appropriately, most people, we have to tell him, we have to show him, we have to teach him, chutzpah, and there's always some warm-hearted people who greeted me with a smile. Those are the ones that cared about me. They saw, I am fatzarit. I'm in a tzara. People don't dress funny and different because they have a shita. They're fatzarit, they're distressed. They're in a matzav of pain. Those people saved my life. And now I'm giving back. That's what he told me just today. It happens all the time. Let's not get unfocused. Let's not miss our mission. We're living in a time where wherever you go, to the parks, to the lakes, to the gas stations, they're all over. Tzaros Yisrael. What are you doing about it?